Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. Hey, we are talking about Genesis. We are at episode 100 today of Genesis. Who would think it would take 100 episodes to get through Genesis? And we're still not finished. We got quite a ways to go yet. Genesis is such an interesting book, and I've said it before. Genesis is an interesting book because you can identify with the different characters in here. They're a lot like us, a lot like me. And today I want to look at Genesis 29, chapter 29. And the first part of it is called Puzzle Pieces Coming Together. You're going to see how God has a plan, and it's all coming together. And in this passage today, you're going to see different puzzle pieces coming together and what God wants. Okay, it's not all glorious. Some of it is, but some of it's like we're introduced to Laban, who's not a character we really want to be like. Okay, so, and if you remember, as we closed out chapter 28, that is where Jacob finally really surrenders to God. Okay, he commits his life to God. At that point, before that, he had been a deceiver. Okay. And so we get into this chapter here, and he has committed himself to God, and he's traveling to get to where he's supposed to be. And let's pick it up here. So we're going to be reading today Genesis 29, verses 1 through 14. And it's called Puzzle Pieces Coming Together. Okay? So follow along with me in the Bible here. It says this: Then Jacob continued on his journey and came to the land of the eastern people. There he saw a well in the open country with 3 flocks of sheep lying near it, because the flocks were watered from that well. The stone over the mouth of the well was large. When all the flocks were gathered there, the shepherds would roll the stone away from the well's mouth and water the sheep. Then they would return to the stone to place it over the mouth of the well. Okay, so keep in mind, there's a good chance this is the same well where Rebecca was found by the servant of Abraham. Okay, there's a chance of it. We don't know for sure. I mean, there could have been a bunch of wells there, but it was in this region at least where, Jacob's mother. Jacob and Esau's mother was found, and we had talked about that in an earlier episode. So again, finding a spouse here takes place at a well. Okay, so let's keep reading here. Verse 4, Jacob asked the shepherds, "My brothers, where are you from?" "We're from Haran," they replied. And remember, he was supposed to go to Haran. So he's like, all right. He said to them, "Do you know Laban, Nahor's grandson?" "Yes, we know him," they answered. And notice here, they said, "Yeah, we know him," but they didn't give a whole lot of details of it. Okay. Is he well? "Yes, he is," they answered. "And here comes his daughter Rachel with the sheep." Okay. They didn't tell him a whole lot about Laban. Laban wasn't like a stand-up guy. But when Rachel came along, they were like, "Oh yeah, and here comes Rachel, his daughter." Okay, now she was something to talk about, apparently. Verse 7, "Look," he said, "the sun is still high. It is not time for the flocks to be gathered. Water the sheep and take them back to the pasture." "We can't," they replied, "until all the flocks are gathered and the stone has been rolled away from the mouth of the well. Then we will water the sheep." Okay, so he's just come to this village here or town, and already he's trying to tell these guys what to do. Like, hey, you shouldn't be bringing your sheep in so early. You got to take them back out and get them taken care of. And also, he probably sees Rachel and he's like, "Oh, I want some alone time with her." So he's trying to get these guys watered and on their way. Okay. Verse 9, while he was still talking with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she was a shepherd. When Jacob saw Rachel, daughter of his uncle Laban, and Laban's sheep, he went over and rolled the stone away from the mouth of the well and watered his uncle's sheep. Okay, get this. It took usually several guys because it was a big, heavy stone, and they didn't roll it away just willy-nilly all the time. It took a lot of effort to do it. But apparently, Jacob wanted to impress people here, and he just rolled it away himself. Okay? Verse 11, Then Jacob kissed Rachel and began to weep aloud. He had told Rachel that he was a relative of her father and a son of Rebekah, so she ran and told her father. Okay? Jacob is just so overjoyed that, okay, he's here at the household of Laban, and here's this beautiful one. This is like, gotta be from God, he's thinking. Okay? And all these puzzle pieces are coming into place. So now she goes and tells her father, which is Laban. As verse 13, as soon as Laban heard the news about Jacob, his sister's son, he hurried to meet him. He embraced him and kissed him and brought him to his home, and there Jacob told him all these things. Then Laban said to him, You are my own flesh and blood. Okay, let me ask you a question. Why did Laban come running? Any idea? Well, the last time we had an issue at the well with Laban's sister, who came running right away after Rachel, was chosen by the Abraham's servant. Who came running? It was Laban. Okay, Laban saw the nose ring and the bracelets that Rebekah was wearing. And he was like, aha, what can I get out of this? Okay, so he saw the wealth, okay, and then he came running. And we've talked about this before. And the servant of Abraham said he never talked about himself. He always talked about Abraham and his son, okay? And he was saying how great they were and how much wealth they had and stuff like that. So Laban is all excited about it back then. And then his sister went away, and so now his sister's son comes back, and he comes running again. Why does he come running again? Because he knows there's great wealth involved. Okay, because Jacob comes back here, and he knows, based on what Rachel has said here, that Jacob is the son of his sister, and she married into a lot of wealth. So he's like, seeing dollar signs in his head, going off, and so that's when he's like, let me jump in here and see what I can get out of this whole deal. Okay, we're going to talk a whole lot more about Laban tomorrow, but what I wanted you to see here today is this: how all the puzzle pieces are coming together. Before this happened, was when Jacob committed his life to Christ, not to Jesus, but to God. But before that, his life wasn't on the right track. He was just known as a deceiver, okay? But now we're seeing where he's committed himself to God, and now things are falling into place. He sees a potential wife. His journey has been successful. He finds the house of Laban where he's supposed to go. And so all these things are coming into place here, okay? And it starts with, first of all, committing to the Lord. All right? So we'll continue on tomorrow with this interesting chapter. Thanks for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we continue our journey through Genesis. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.